People, man. It's your boy Brilliant, man. We rocking out on another episode of Black Excellence, man. I want to thank y'all for being here tonight. Y'all can be anywhere else in the world, but y'all are here with me, and I want to thank y'all for that. For all those that's just now joining for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is food knowledge for your ass. For all those that know what's going on, please do like, share, follow, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and also comment button. Please comment, y'all. Leave some comments. Because at the end of the day, y'all comments matter. And I want to hear y'all feedback. This episode today, we're going to be talking about, are you blind? This shit on?
It took a lot for me to get here, I appreciate it. I know you mad cause a nigga made it. To everybody that stayed down and waited patient, I know you anxious to hear this music they callin' dangerous. Cause you stuck with them vivid pictures you never painted. Try to rearrange it and still couldn't explain it. It's tainted. I appreciate the guidance, even though that we was violent. And we love to let the guns.
A lot of times in life, people, they take away from the reality of what things is meant to be today. And what they do by that is they create their own form of what they feel like life is. And that doesn't mean that that's what life actually is. That only means that at some form of another, they pick that importance for them to be able to believe or have something to believe in. And whether or not it's true or whether or not it's false, it's their own sense of reality. And they go with that reality. It becomes truth to them. It becomes something that they believe in. And they grow with that. And that's okay, because we all need something to believe in, right? But here's the problem. This episode today is about people acting like we don't see things that's happening right before our eyes. This episode is about us being blinded to the fact of things that's taking place right here in front of our faces. Us not acknowledging things that should be acknowledged or should have been acknowledged from day one. Us acting like we don't see the cover-ups and the different types of deceit that's happening right here before our face, in our very eyes. Why are we acting like we're blinded to the fact? Have we forgotten how far we've come? Have we forgotten who we are as a people? Why are we acting like we don't see what's happening right here before our face, in our very eyes? You see, it used to be a time when people made everything that takes place in this reality a factor, right? But what happens today when you don't have facts anymore? You have illusions, right? You have hallucinations, false beliefs, people insinuating things that's not true just to be relevant, okay? What happens when the things that's right here before your very eyes to see, what if you ignore it every single day? And it's literally knocking at your front door, trying to be heard or trying to be acknowledged. What if the very thing that you don't pay attention to every single day is right there for you and only you to make a decision and a choice to change your life as well as someone else's every single day? But you choose. You, we, us, we choose to choose the path of deceit, to choose the path of false knowledge, to choose the path of acting like what's happening right here before our very face, right? It's a reality. And it's not. What happens every day in a society that we know in our culture? What happens? Every single day. What happens? The first thing that we do when we cut our news on is what? We literally see someone's loved one being murdered, right? Raped, killed, right? And what do? We've gotten to the point where it's literally at this point something that's so usual that it becomes saddening to us. It becomes to the point where we feel like, why am I watching this? Right? It's literally depressing. It's depressing. And a lot of it, and a lot of times, that's what happens. It becomes depressing. It becomes depressing because we know it so much that that's all we know. We don't know the truth behind that. We only know that we don't want to hear it anymore. We don't know what happened. We don't know what took place. We know we're tired and we don't want to hear it no more. We don't want to see someone else's loved one being gunned down, right, by another person that's our complexion. I don't want to hear it anymore. And in that mess, it equals a message. So through that test, it equals a testimony. So all of those right there was something that became a reality. And that's what we live off of right now, right? But I'm going to just tell you this. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me right now, right? So for an hour and a half, I'm about to give you this work. For an hour and a half, I'm about to give you this work. Do you understand what I'm saying? The first thing that I want to say is, what in the actual fuck is wrong with us right now? What's wrong with us? What have we forgotten? What have we forgotten? Have we forgotten all of the education that we was taught? Have we forgotten what our ancestors left here for us? Is it important anymore? Is it even relevant anymore? Have we forgotten all that we've learned for thousands and thousands of years? Do it even matter anymore? Why is everything else in the world important except for what's right here in front of our blind ass face? Why? Answer that. I would really want somebody to answer that, please. At this point, we had something take place a few months back, and it devastated the whole country. We had a chance to learn about some people that was gunned down inside of a local convenience store. And I don't even want to relive that actual incident because this is not about that actual incident, okay? May each and every individual that lost their life that day rest in peace. May the families, and firsthand, I'm sending my condolences to the families, by all means. May your families and loved ones rest in peace. This content that I'm about to share with you right now is solely not for any type of bragging rights, clout, acknowledgement whatsoever. What I'm about to share with you is the actual truth. These are thoughts that come from me as well as other people in my circle. And we need answers. We need answers because I've lived here too long in my life. And I've heard and seen a lot of things. But right now, today, I am about to share something with you that I don't even know if you really understand the actual reality behind what I'm going to share with you. But I'm going to step by step walk you through each and every scene that played out one by one on this next episode of Black Excellence.
This shit on? It took a lot for me to get here, I appreciate it. I know you mad cause a nigga made it. To everybody that stayed down and waited patient, I know you anxious to hear this music they callin' dangerous. Cause you stuck with them vivid pictures you never painted. Try to rearrange it and still couldn't explain it. It's tainted. I appreciate the guidance, even though that we was violent. And we love to let
I want to talk about a situation that took place in Buffalo. Can we talk about it a little bit, people? Can I talk about it a little bit? Eric Seltzer. Why isn't nobody speaking about this man? Why is this man not being talked about? Why is he not national? Why is he not a national headliner? Why is this not nationally headlined? Why? Why is his name not being national? Do you know right now what we're thinking? We're right now sitting back and we're asking, we're saying to ourselves, who is that? Who is Eric Seltzer? Eric Seltzer should be history right now. He actually is history, and we're going to get into that in 1 second of who he is. But he should be history right now, right this second, today, this very day. He lived, he breathed, right? And he's dead, okay? Where did he die? Mr. Seltzer died in Buffalo, New York, inside of a supermarket, okay? He was one of the 13 people, one of the 13 people that was shot, okay? But out of the 13, 10 were actually killed. And out of the 10, Mr. Seltzer was one of the victims that lives were claimed that day, okay? This was a shooting, once again, that happened in Buffalo, New York. All right? It was literally, as I said earlier, it was out it happened in 1 hour, okay? So I added 1 hour, 1 week, and 3 days. It took place, and it took that long. So which means in a 2 week span, okay, it had the attention of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, all right? But I'm going to ask you a question. What attention did we have? Did we have the attention of a man that was racist and literally walked into a public place and opened fire on civilians that were skin colored? Is that what that was about? Is that what we really believe? This was an actual racist situation. This was a hate crime. Do we believe that? Do we actually believe that? Do we actually believe that this situation that took place was something that was generated into an actual situation that took place and it unfolded in one day, okay? And was literally talked about for about 1 week. And then the situation was actually voided and sent away. What situation? Well, the situation that caused the lives of 10 people in injured 3. Oh, because the relevance in behind what I'm speaking to you about right now is so important, because our vision of what things equal today is at an all-time high of zero. And Eric Sultan. Who was Eric Sultan? Who was that? Eric Sultan was a man that was a security guard inside of the actual store, that actually put his life on the line to protect and defend those individuals that day inside of that supermarket. And he actually lost his life in the means of trying to help innocent bystanders that was being shot and targeted that day by a gunman. Okay? Now, what we did know about out of that same situation that took place, we did know that other people other than himself was brutally murdered and injured as well. What we didn't know was the first time we ever learned this man's name and who he wasn't the first time that we should have been doing that. That name should have been heard years and years and years and years and years and years ago. Because that name is a name that still to this day gives me goosebumps. Just being able to have to sit here and educate my brothers and sisters behind something that I feel is so relevant and scary, because it's right here in front of our eyes. And we act like we're so blinded to the fact. It makes no sense. This man wasn't just a security guard that lived as a security guard. He was actually a police officer as well. But other than that, why was this man so relevant? Why did we need to know who he was long before his death? Well, I'm going to tell you why. This man was somebody that literally, okay, came up with an idea that actually worked. And it worked so much that he went to the public eye for at least opinions, options, as well as acknowledgement. Those 3. And when he did so, my thoughts, my theories of what I believe, I feel that it altered his life. Okay? Do you realize that that same individual, Eric Salter, is a gentleman that engineered a car to make it run by water? Do you realize that? Do you realize that that same person went to the news, okay, and literally asked them to interview him while literally, okay, starting his vehicle and letting you visually see that he engineered a car to run by water? That was the first time we ever had a look or a chance to look at that man and see him alive and well and breathing, but actually speaking to the news about his invention, and something that we literally sit back to this day and we speak about in history, inventions done, created by a black man. But we don't know who Eric Salter is. It makes no sense. Are we that blind to the fact? It makes no sense that the day that we had to learn about who Eric Salter was, he was brutally murdered. Okay? We had to look at his body being carried out of a supermarket. Okay? We had to learn about that. Right after we learned that he was a scientist. I'm going to say it again. He was a scientist that engineered, okay, a car to literally work and move by water. And he was brutally murdered right behind that. It happened right behind that. Now, I'm going to back up just a little bit because I might be speeding up too fast. I'm going to slow down just a bit so you can understand me. Let me explain something to you. The people that was killed that day inside of the supermarket, may they rest in peace. My condolences to the families that lost their loved ones. But those people were decoys. They were decoys. Okay? The target was Eric Salter. That was a target. Those people that lost their life, those were decoys. But the target was Eric Salter. Now, for the people that don't believe what I'm saying, I'm going to explain something to you. We sit back and we acknowledge somebody every single day that has become so relevant in this world, all right, that is the face of this world at this moment, okay? His name starts with a, all right, and ends with a la. All right? And we see the fact how popular and how relevant that person is at this point. And he is the face, okay? Manufacturing's going out the roof. His product is being sold at an all-time high. At an all-time high. Something that we know that we don't even have to use gas for. We don't even need to use gas at all. And it's being sold at an all-time high without it even being a foreign situation. We acknowledge that situation every step of the way. We create and build around who this person is. Give him relevance and stature behind who this person is. But we don't even know who Eric Salter is. We don't even know who Eric Salter is. He was the guy in the supermarket, huh? He was a security guard. Huh? Are you blind? Are we blind to the fact that we don't understand what's happening right before our face? This situation is so relevant. This situation is something that no one is speaking about, and it's driving me nuts. This man was a national hero, okay? I don't give a damn who thought it. I don't care who said it. This man actually attempted and made it work. He was an engineer, a scientist. We speak about people that we read about being engineers and scientists. People like Da Vinci. Okay? People like that live their life of inventing things. Sitting back inside of their homes and their houses and coming up with the most valuablest artifacts and assets that we can ever lay eyes on. We value it. In history, we live it, we breathe it. We make our children learn it. But we don't know who Eric Salter is in 2022. We don't know who that is. Why is he not relevant? Why is nobody speaking about him? Why is he not headlining right now? Why is nobody speaking about the car that was literally running by water? Why did we act like we never seen that? We act like we never seen that. Why are we doing that? Why are we acting like that's not important? I mean, doesn't it kill you every single day to have to put gas in your car? Huh? Isn't that the number one thing in America right now that is affecting us? How much do you think you spend a year on gas? How much? And not just for cars, at least. For different things. Mowing the lawn. Air blowing the lawn. Using certain types of, mechanics to get around. Generators and such. What happens if you don't need that anymore? That gas to actually make that work? What if you can actually just turn your faucet on in your house and pour it inside of that motor and it actually works? What happens then? What happens to the multi-trillionaires? What happens? Huh? They go out of business. The stock market goes and it crashes. Do you think that anybody I'm going to say it again. Do you think that anybody is going to allow that to happen? Would you let somebody come inside of your house and kick you out and tell you what to do? And tell you there's a new sheriff in town, in your house? Do you think you would stand for that? And they might just be the new sheriff in town. But just because it's your situation that you've been in for so long, are you going to let this new and improved situation that's better for most and better than most defeat you in what you are and what you stand for? Or are you going to try by any means to make sure that you protect the Klan by any means and what you stand for by any means necessary, regardless to what it is that you have to do to protect this? Eric Salter lost his life because of the knowledge that he obtained. I'm going to say that again. Eric Salter lost his life because of the knowledge that he obtained. Not because of the prototype that he invented. It was the knowledge that he obtained that no one else was supposed to ever in life obtain other than him. It's a no-no. It'll never happen. We praise people. We invent. Right now, if I sat back and I invented a way for anything to work, okay? If I were to be like anything, I can take a car or literally make my camera, okay? If I were to take my camera and make it work off of water, that would be amazing. Because that's ran off of electricity. Imagine if I can make that work off of water. But let alone put it inside of an engine and make it operate a whole car. That is something. And that is a problem that we cannot live with. That is a problem. We cannot live with that problem. Knowing that you have that much education and that much knowledge and terminology. There's no way in the world. There's no way in the world that I'm going to allow that to be able to function in this society when it has that much, or when it will have that much impact on what society is. That man was about to change the way mankind think. of anything. They told us we need X, Y, and Z to operate and to make this work. But this person is coming out with this and making this situation a reality right before our face, and we act like we don't even see it or understand it enough to grasp it and say that this is something that was for us. But before he can get a chance to put it out there, right, and make it public, his life was snatched from him, as well as others. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world. By all means, I'm probably most times not smart at all. Most of what I say comes from my heart and from up here. I'm not writing this stuff down. It's not nothing scripted coming out of my mouth. Okay? And at the end of the day, what I want to tell you is there's no reason how we sit back and we allow so much to happen right before our face. And the things that we need to follow, the things that we need to stand for and stand behind, what's going on today, and it's happening right before our face. And it's shame on us. Shame on us that we make everything relevant around us except what needs to be important. Okay? Now, by all means, I'm just blabbing, right? There's no relevance behind what I'm saying at all, right? There's no relevance behind that. But let me explain something to you. 5 years from now, when you turn the TV on and the first thing you see is a different type of change that comes into this world, know that it's a man that created that change. And whatever it is that happens in this world, right, is literally, once again, a creator behind what's happening in this world. Acknowledgement goes a long way. And for us to turn our cheek and turn our heads because it's not important to us, or we feel like it has nothing to do with us, but the same history that never had anything to, it always had something to do with us. You see where you thought I was just going? I wasn't going nowhere where you've been before. It always had something to do with us, my brothers and sisters. Always. We always been relevant. Since day one. Since day one. We always been relevant. Eric Schulter was just one of many, of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of black geniuses that lost their life behind what someone else wanted or did not want them to be in place to be able to teach, preach, and educate. So they were stripped of their life. May he rest in peace. This story that I'm telling you right now is relevance. And it has so much to do with today. Because nobody knows when it's time to create the next chapter, right? That's what pillars are. And that's what educating yourself is. When you're able to literally go outside the box and you can say to yourself, I want to change something that's happening here today outside of the box. And I want to do something different. Me bringing this video to you and bringing awareness to you about who he is wasn't something that I felt like I needed you to hear. This is something that you need to hear. Because he had so much relevance and he had so much importance behind who he was and what he stood for. What he was in this realm for. And what he left after he created. Something that's going to be in a legacy. Something that would always be told and never forgotten. And in history, he will be acknowledged forever through whether it's me or people like me that know the difference and also know the truth. I've been blinded through a lot of ways and for a lot of things. And right now, me waking up every day is from actually wanting to educate. But the only way I can educate is by being educated. And I yearn for knowledge every single day because I know that I'm blinded to a lot of things. that's happening right here in front of my eyes. But as long as I know that I'm in a better space, okay, to be able to see things different as well as clear, and not caught up in a system of fictitious and things that's not even a reality, giving it to things that's not important, acting like what's happening right here in front of our faces is not real, ignoring things that need to happen. What are we waiting for? Are we waiting for it to be too late? Are we waiting for it to have no more chances? Nothing is important anymore. We turn our cheek to everything. I ain't got no anything. You going to your brother, your sister for help. Come on, man. I ain't. But would give a stranger more credentials than you would give a situation that need to be talked about. I mean, come on. There's nothing in the world that's more important than education. For everybody that literally sit back every single day. That's what we yearn for. We want that. We want that education. We need it. We need it. That's who we are. And what makes sense is the fact that we know at some point, okay, everything that we have going on right now is going to wear out at some point. We're not going to have it. We're not going to have it anymore. I'm not here to talk about things that's happening in the world. I'm here to enlighten you and educate you on things that you need to know. Things that's happening that need to be talked about, that no one is speaking about. That's who I am. That's what black excellence is. It's not about clout chasing. I'm not here to be relevant. I'm not here to make the next situation make sense at all. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to give you this food and to give you this work. And I'm sorry if anybody feel like I'm finna come on here, okay, and I'm about to talk about anything that makes no sense to me or to you. Your time is valuable and precious. And like I said, you can be anywhere in the world, but you here with me. And while you here, I'm going to give you this work. I'm going to give you this work because we need it. It's food. Nobody else is going to give it to us but us. And we are messing up. There's a lot going on right now, okay, that I can't put into one topic because I want to keep it on today's topic. And I want to make sure that we are waking up and we are opening our eyes to the fact, because we are asleep. We're asleep to knowing. We're asleep to understanding. We're asleep to wanting to know. We're asleep to even getting to the next level because we're so busy being blinded to the fact. I want everybody to take a second to literally understand something. As long as we don't do anything at all, we're going to complain about the same thing for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. We can stand for nothing and fall for anything. Or we can stand for something and make sure when or if and when we fall, it had a meaning behind us standing. There's no reason why the pillar in the place and stature where we are right now today as a people is not strong enough to make a stance to a lot of the things that's going on right now with us. This fake ass, there's certain things that I can't say right now, but we already know the difference between what we got to do and what we know that they're doing to make us think that we got to do. While we're busy targeting each other, while we're busy not worrying about what the next person got to say, while we're busy probably going by my channel right now and saying, oh, the new video's out of the something that's not even relevant. That right there is the reason why we are where we are right now. Blinded to the fact. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. If you got anything out of this message, it was to please, I would like for us to wake up. I would like for us to know that it is so much here for us. We are so powerful and so talented as a people. We have so much going on, but we have to acknowledge us for being talented more than you know, more than being able to go on social media or learn a new TikTok step. We're so talented. This man made cars run off of water, and he should be relevant right now. I've never experienced nothing in my life like that in my life. And if anybody can understand anything from me, I want us to wake up. Please, let's wake up. There's truth out there, more than we know. We need to stick together. I thank you for being here with me tonight. And I'll see you around at the next episode of Black Excellence. Peace.